True colors exposed. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. We're here to talk about this today. I like to dibble dabble and talk about sports because sports is such a huge part of our society, and it's where a lot of our attention goes, especially as black men. So instead of fighting it, let's use it as an opportunity to learn about greater issues and to see what's going on, greater issues in American society and Black American society. What we have here is with this whole Charlie Kirk thing, people are really exposing themselves, showing who they always were, who they are, and who they always were. And y'all know me, I stopped watching ESPN and those sports gossip shows 10 years ago plus. Saw the racism. I saw Doug Gottlieb. I've been suspecting Doug Gottlieb of racism since 2006. Just some of the shit that he would say, it was just obvious to me. Michelle Tafoya from Sunday Night Football, the way they are reacting to Michael Wilbon is what we're talking about today. Michael Wilbon, who's on the show, Partner Interruption, said something about Bruce Pearl and Bruce Pearl being divisive. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to play the video of what Bruce Pearl said. Bruce Pearl is a basketball coach at Auburn. He announced basically what the scenario is. He said some shit about Charlie Kirk last week, had a major backlash, and then he announced that he's about to retire at the end of the season. And Michael Wilbon had comments about him retiring, and boy, these motherfuckers are mad. These mayonnaise motherfuckers, boy, they are mad. They're like, hold on, Wilbon, you was our good Negro that didn't delve too much into politics, unlike Stephen A. And so they are coming back at him, and they are proving how racist I have been saying these people are, especially in sports. Sports media is a place for flustered white men that didn't make it, that got dunked on by a 6'7" nigga in college, and then his gal got dunked in by the same brother. They all go into sports media and use it as a time to just shit on those brothers. So with the situation at hand now, it's all coming out. They can't hide it no more, and it's becoming a big thing. So what we gonna do is, in about 35, 45 seconds, we gonna talk about it, all right? Come on in here, make sure y'all hit the share button. A lot of this, first off, welcome chat room, welcome. Thank y'all for joining. We about to talk about it. We ain't gonna be here all night, but I do want to talk about this. because I'm not sure if I'm going to be talking. I seriously doubt we talk tomorrow, so I wanted to get one in and talk to y'all tonight, because I probably won't see y'all tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, greetings, chat room. Thank y'all for joining. True colors exposed. Why is this important? A lot of our children and our future athletes go through the high school, the AAU, the college system. Parents send their children off to these institutions to turn into adults. And when it comes to things like basketball, in all sports, basketball, football, all sports, what people think about you matters the most. What someone thinks about you is the difference between whether you make the team or don't make the team. It's the difference between you starting and not starting. It's the difference between getting an endorsement deal and not getting an endorsement deal. As an athlete, other people's opinions of you are paramount, are life. Especially the opinions and the point of views of a coach. And if you wonder why when you watch the NBA, the NFL, there's so many tap dancing ass niggas, look no further than the environment that they're cultivated and raised in. Look no further than that. They get misled from a very, very, very young age. So by the time they turn 25 and 26, they're 10, sometimes 15 years in to the programming from motherfuckers like these. People like this. And then they go out and get a microphone and then they say, I'm going to speak. And they turn into a jive coon like Royce White. I had to unfollow him on Twitter the other day. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna just keep reading this dude's BS. I'm the problem, not him. Let me just go ahead and remove myself from following this dude. All the extra cooning he be doing. I clowned him good enough that one day on Twitter. He don't need another baptism. He got baptized once. That's enough. Man's had enough. So I just unfollowed him. Like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this nigga alone. But it's a problem. And what we're seeing now is we as black people, we're not just sitting around and like in the past, usually we would go ahead and just, you know what, I ain't gonna say nothing, man. It ain't that serious. And we let people live, you know what I mean? We let people ride. We don't really be like, you know what? They like such and such, such and such, whatever, you know? We generally don't trip. Until the last few years, we've been starting to trip. And that's a good thing. We've been like, oh, no. I need the trip. I need the trip. I'm looking for that fade. That's where our energy has been lately. We looking for the fade. And now it's bubbling up to even the cornballs are feeling this way. The people who just want to go to work, get a job, and ignore racism or minimize it. And, you know, even those kind of brothers that who just really ain't even, I won't even say cornballs. People who just ain't really tripping. It's a lot of people who just really ain't tripping. You know what I mean? The people who really ain't tripping are starting to speak. And it is starting to freak these niggas out. It is starting to freak these people out. They're glitching out. They don't know how to handle us doing what we do. Whoopty wham, boomty bam, boom bam, whoopty wham. They're not used to that. You feel me? So they're starting to really show who they are. All of the niceties and we're cool and we're all one and, you know, LeBron's the greatest and Michael Jordan and Venus Williams and Barry Bonds and they starting to show it. So what we about to do right now, what's up chat room? Bama 80, you a fool. Yeah, Kwame be disappointing me sometimes. I won't say disappoint me. He is who he is. He don't disappoint me. He is who he is. I like a lot of things Kwame say, but yeah. Kwame be cooning like a mom. But I still like that brother, you know what I mean? So, a lot of this started last week when over here, our brother Eton Thomas had said a few things about, he had asked, should Bruce Pearl be coaching kids? Because Bruce Pearl had put this picture up, this image up of Charlie Kirk. And Eton Thomas last week really over the weekend set off a debate. And talking about how these
Bruce Pearl, and before
talking about how these coaches are now. Eton Thomas is a former Washington, which is a former really good basketball player who really he succumbed to injuries. Injuries really screwed him off in his career. But I thought Eton Thomas was a very, very solid role player. One of your better role players out there. That had he gotten right matched with the right superstars, I'm sure it could have delivered many a championships in the same kind of way Draymond Green does. They had different style games, but his defense, rebounding, screen setting, tenacity, it was everything a superstar needed on their team. He just never quite got matched with one. So, but I did say he's a really good basketball player. And listen to some things that he had to say about why he said these things about Bruce Pearl.
Is the coach where many black parents entrust their children to coach them, to guide them, to teach them about life on and off the basketball court, because that's what a coach's job pretty much does, especially when you're in college. And listening to him, and I've heard him make his statements for the last, maybe few years here, and each one gets worse and worse. Every time he opens his mouth, it gets worse and worse. I would not send my dog to his school.
So that basically, that pissed a lot of people off. And the interview goes longer. But when Eton Thomas said, I'm going to send my dog to be coached by him, it set off a wave. You know what I mean? And I know Bruce Pearl heard it. I pulled up some things that he said in the past when he's talking about being divisive. He said things like, he's the person that blamed Barack Obama for dividing America. He talked about not speaking, the same thing Charlie Kirk supported when Charlie Kirk would talk about critical race theory. Critical race theory wasn't just black history. Critical race theory was also the teaching of systematic white supremacy. What our great Neely Fuller taught us and Dr. Welsing. And he was against that, talking about how it got in the way. And there were some roadblocks, but it's not a system, totally misleading our children and our youth. Totally misleading our youth. And so yesterday on Pardon the Interruption, PTI, Mike Wilbon had a response. Well, here's nothing that, before I say play Mike Wilbon, this is what Mike Wilbon was responding to right here. Listen to what Bruce Pearl says right here, and then I'm going to play Mike Wilbon's response, and then we're going to talk about all these people that are responding and these white folks catching a hissy fit. Oh, we also going to talk about Elon Musk chat room, Lady Hotep, Rashawn Green. Remind me when I get towards the end to bring up Elon Musk and his daddy getting accused of touching little 4-year-old kids. I just saw that story before I came live, and I didn't get a chance to put it in the title. But I do want to talk about that at the end. So if it look like I'm winding down, chat room, my mods, remind me to bring up Elon Musk, your bitch ass, all right? When we done with, but let's get done with this story first. So listen to what this whole ass Bruce Pearl had to say, and then we're going to go to Wilbon's response.
Charlie was a man of faith. He knew where he was going when his time came. I know that's not what he was planning on because he had so much to live for here. Dan, he was leading, I think, the most important revival that was taking place in our country, and that was young, conservative, Christian people who were on fire for God, who were on fire for Jesus, who were on fire for this country to help get involved in service and the process, and also began to see just that the other side was so different than how they felt about faith and family and the right to life and so many things that we sort of take for granted as part of our DNA. The opposition has is pulling farther apart from us and also getting more violent. And I think the reason why they're getting more violent is because, like Charlie Kirk proved every time he debated and had a discussion, he was on the side of right. He was on the side of good. He was on the side of accurate history and for the most part of what he talked about.
For the most part.
And they couldn't beat him.
There is no accurate history for the most part. Either you're accurate or you're not. Look, listen to what he just said. They're being divisive from us. Not we can't come together. They're dividing from us. And then he said he was good in debate. What was he good? What truth did he tell in debates? He didn't lie? You mean how he would lie with statistics and cherry pick numbers? And mostly he got his basically he got his weight up talking about black people. This is a man who for the last I followed his whole I remember when he first got picked up at Tennessee and coaching at Tennessee. I also remember when he got fired for cheating. Bruce Pearl. Mind you, Bruce Pearl is a cheater. This is a cheater right here, bona fide. He talks about, let's look up his scandal. He talks about what accurate history? Look at this. This is a rundown of major scandals surrounding Bruce Pearl. He had the barbecue cookout. He had the situation where he was having unofficial recruits visit off campus improperly. This is back in the days when you couldn't give money to recruits. Now the money's out there. But this is back in the days when you couldn't do it. He was doing it. He purposely misled investigators, according to Wikipedia. At Auburn, he used Chuck Person, a former NBA player, the rifleman. Chuck Person used to shoot his motherfucking ass off. Him and his brother Wesley Person was gunners. But Chuck Person, his former nickname was the Rifleman. San Antonio Spurs, Indiana Pacer, used him to give improper benefits. He's been accused of spying and secret filming. He's been accused of multiple recruiting violations. So when you listen to this guy talk about Charlie Kirk, it makes sense as to why he likes him. This dude's a fucking cheater. He's a thug. He's a degenerate. He's a cheating thug degenerate. Let's listen to what this thug degenerate has to say.
The side of good. He was on the side of accurate history and for the most part of what he talked about. And they couldn't beat him. And so they killed him. They murdered him. They assassinated him. They eliminated him. But what they didn't realize is they actually didn't. Because he is going to live on. He's going to live on through all of us that followed him, that learned from him. Because here's the deal, Dan. Like, Dan, you are one of the best at what you do. You are. But we all, and I'm pretty good at what I do too. But none of us could touch Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, he
That's true. Because you couldn't cheat without getting caught, you scandalous son of a bitch. Yeah, and who the fuck is they? This is your people that shot him. So this is who Bruce Pearl is. And so Michael Wilbon, one of Michael Jordan's close friends, one of the guys that really started the whole debate culture with his show Pardon the Interruption. I probably saw the first 1,000 episodes of this show. From the day this shit started up until 2011, I hardly missed an episode. I was in college, and my last class would be at 11 o'clock over at 12:30, and I'd be home by 2 o'clock for PTI all throughout my college life. Well, 2004 when this shit started. But listen to what Michael Wilbon had to say. I ain't listened to him in Kornheiser. It's been well over 10 to 15 years since I've seen an episode too. But listen to what he says. I might actually, with him talking like this, I might actually start watching again.
Happy trails to coaching for Bruce Pearl. The Auburn coach is stepping down to become an ambassador for the athletic department. 65, he has had terrific teams at Milwaukee, Tennessee, and Auburn. Which
Here comes Wilbon.
Tony, he become a divisive person, it seems to me, intentionally, and I hope there was pressure to just get him out.
Oh, that right there got them pissed off. Let me go back to what he said, because Wilbon's always good for these quick jabs at the end of a segment. It only takes Wilbon about 3 seconds to get a good one in. Wilbon is the last person that, mind you, by the way, Wilbon is probably the last person at ESPN that I respect. But listen to him say that shit again. This little part got them mad than the motherfucker. Let's see if I can find a louder version. Let's see if I can find a louder version, because that was kind of low. That was kind of low. Let me see if I can find a louder one.
Happy trails to coaching for Bruce Pearl. The Auburn U.S. Senate, something
Here
that had
it
been
is.
rumored.
Become a divisive person, it seems to me, intentionally, and I hope there was pressure.
Something that had been rumored.
Tony, he become a divisive person, it seems to me, intentionally, and I hope there was pressure to just get him out.
So he said Bruce Pearl, for those you didn't hear, has become a divisive character, it seems intentionally. I hope that there was pressure to get him out. So Wilbon says that, and now look at these people, bitch. I swear to God, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Y'all some bitches. So here comes Doug Gottlieb. He says, how was Bruce Pearl divisive?
Pearl is 65. He has had
To me, intentionally,
had been rumored.
Tony, he become a divisive person, it seems to me, intentionally, and I hope there was pressure to just get him out.
He said, how can Bruce Pearl be divisive? He's a cheater. He says things politically that are against the players that he relies on to win. Bruce Pearl, if he wanted to, he could have an all-white team. He don't like black folks. Everybody plays basketball in this country. It's a lot of good Latino basketball players, short than a motherfucker, but still some good ones. You got Asian players. You got Eastern Europeaners, Western Europeaners. You got some Manu Ginobili style Argentinians. And you got good old white Americans. Good old boys. You don't need us. You don't have to be around us. No, let me take it back. You do need us. That's the problem. Like what Urban Politicians TV say, you a nigga needer. He's a nigga needer that don't like niggas. Do y'all remember what Dick Gregory used to say? Dick Gregory used to always say the most racist person in the school is the college football coach. He could have added basketball. But press number one, if you remember Dick Gregory saying that. Dick Gregory said the most racist man on campus is a college football coach because that player can say, shut the fuck up, white boy, and that white boy got to take it because that player can run faster than God with a football. Press number one, if you remember Dick Gregory saying that. He said, he got to take it. He said, he can say, get out my way, white boy. And the coach got to take it. Because that nigga can run faster than God on the football. Dick Gregory, man, gave us so much wisdom. Man, let's salute to Dick Gregory, man. I really am honored that I shared some time on Earth at the same time as the great Dick Gregory. You know, I didn't share time on Earth with Dr. King or Malcolm X or Bunchy Carter. I didn't share time on Earth with Medgar Evers. I didn't share time on Earth with A. Philip Randolph. But I shared time on Earth with Dick Gregory and Claude Anderson. And I'm honored for that. That's Dr. Welsing, Neely Fuller, Ali, Bobby Hemmett. You know, we shared the same time on Earth together. So, man, salute to Dick Gregory. But back to the point, Dick Gregory always put us on game to what we dealing with. You know? And now you got Doug Gottlieb. Doug Gottlieb is somebody who works for, I don't know who he worked for anymore because I don't really pay attention. But he used to work for ESPN, worked at Fox Sports for a while. But he's a goofy, nerdy-ass white boy. He's who I have in the picture right here. Doug Gottlieb is the one you see in the top middle. He's a goofy-ass white dude. He's always been a goofy. He's always been a goofy. He's a fucking weirdo. You know, he looks like, you know, this is the extent of his career. Doug Gottlieb had like a good college run in the tournament, and that basically made his career. This is him when he played. He looked like he listens to death metal. He looked like he still got a crush on the Olsen twins. And I'm talking about at the age they was when they was on Full House. You fucking weirdo. That's him, and he's now jumping in the fray. You got Michelle Tafoya. For those of you who watch Monday Night Football for years and Sunday Night Football for years, that's who Michelle Tafoya is. She was a sideline reporter for Sunday Night Football for years. I don't know if she still is or not. But Michelle Tafoya, you see her dumping in. We've always known Dave Portnoy was a racist. I've talked about him before. He's the owner of Barstool Sports. And they're the ones who back the Gilly and Wallow podcast. You see why Gilly and Wallow they don't miss a chance to tap dance any chance that they get. Look at who their boss is. Their boss is a motherfucking racist. So, of course, they go ham bone it up. Mm-hmm. I dance with Massa. Of course, they're going to do that. So, you just seeing all these people. And here's the thing about it. Oh, you said, Doug was charged with credit card theft. That's right, Malcolm Flex. These people are criminals. Bruce Pearl is a criminal. Doug Gottlieb, these people are fucking suspected criminals. These are not the most moral people. But the reason why this is important to talk about is because these daytime ESPN, Fox Sports shows, they're focused on black men. That's why they talk about basketball and football so much and not so much about golf and tennis and baseball. They focus on because something else I learned from Dick Gregory years ago. Dick Gregory was like, black men have the highest unemployment rate. So the people who are at home who are largely at home middle of the day, there's just a lot of black men. And you got, of course, mothers, but the mothers are locked down. The mothers had the daytime talk shows. The mothers had the All My Children. The grandparents had All My Children. The retired folks had that. The daytime TV, for the most part, in the past focused on women with small children and retired people. Stay-at-home moms and retired people is what daytime TV traditionally focused on. And ESPN back in the day, for those of you who remember back in the 90s, press number one if you remember the 90s. What did ESPN have on? Tree trimming contests, tree chopping. They would have mud drag racing. They'd have IndyCar, stock car shit. They may have in the middle of the day some workout videos, some Suzanne Summers Thigh-Master workout videos and shit. Well, when Disney bought ESPN, Disney decided to cater to a major demographic that was at home, a demographic that Disney plays a major part in making sure they're at home because they don't hire none of us, and that's black men. So when Disney came in, you got Partner Interruption, Around the Horn. That's when those shows started coming in. It was Cold Pizza in the morning, and then it turned into First Take. And those shows started to become really big in prominence, primarily targeting black men. And on these airwaves is Michelle Tafoya, Doug Gottlieb. People are always suspected of being racist. Bill Plaskey's been around the horn. Skip Bayless, I still suspect him. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Skip Bayless is, in my opinion, just a racist motherfucker that know he need niggas. And so he know how to shut the fuck up and calm down. But when he told Shannon, put your glasses back on, that showed me that, you know, he probably, I'm sure, I suspect, and I think it's a pretty safe bet that he's one of them. So this programming is focused on us, but pay attention to the people who benefit off us. None of these people will be anywhere where they are without us. If black men didn't play college football, these will, in college basketball, these will be underpaid badminton coaches. We got to understand, black people, when it comes to college sports, what is college sports really about? What does it really do? Let me tell you. Do y'all want me to break it down for you real quick? Cool, I will. College sports is the ultimate outreach and engagement for a university. When you put a football and a mascot in a child's hand and say, hey, UCLA, Berkeley, Duke, Texas Tech, you're ingraining early on in that child's mind, making them a fan. And when they become fans, really start liking schools, they want to go to these schools. People want to go to a college before they even know what they want to major in. Think about that. Every university and college out there has its specialty. Go to USC for film. You go to Duke for medicine. You know, you go to Polytechnic for tech shit. JPL for engineering. Each school has this thing that it specializes in. And the proper way to go to college is to say, hey, this is my skill set. This is what I want to do. Now let me choose the university that's going to help me cultivate that skill set. That's the proper way to go to college. Me, I'm a shit talker. I knew I was running my goddamn mouth. So when I was at Santa Monica Junior College, and I discovered there was a degree called Communication Studies where I can get a degree in talking, I said, shit, sign me up. I went to Santa Monica wanting to go to UCLA. I always wanted to go to UCLA. I had this little my dad took me to a UCLA basketball game when I was like 7, 8. This is back when Reggie Miller still played for UCLA. I remember going to Party Pavilion and seeing that gold and blue ball, and I was going to be a UCLA Bruin. Even though I lived right around the corner and grew up right around the corner from USC. But it was that UCLA basketball, I'll never forget, that UCLA basketball made me want to go to UCLA. And that's why I went to Santa Monica College, because Santa Monica College was where UCLA got a large portion of its students from. And it was cheaper to go to Santa Monica first and get them 2 years out the way, so it's cheaper, then go to UCLA. But luckily for me, my head got right. And then once I decided to choose a major, I chose Cal State Northridge because it was cheaper and they had a better communication studies department than UCLA. But that's the way you're supposed to go to school. But you go to school, people go to school based on teams, based on sports programs. Girls said, I want to go to Arizona because I like my dad grew up watching the Arizona Wildcats and they won the NCAA tournament in 1997 with Coach Lou. What was that? What was it? I forgot that gray haired white man. He was a really good basketball coach. I'm about to say Lou Holtz. That was Notre Dame. Lute Olson. And so college. So one reason why universities have been able to really raise their admissions rates, far outpacing inflation, is because sports guarantees a certain number of applicants a year, because these people are hell-bent on going to this school no matter what they want to major in, because they grew up an Oklahoma Sooners fan, because they grew up a motherfucking Washington University or Eastern Michigan or whatever fan. Sports is outreach and engagement. And it is the supreme athleticism of the black male athlete that gets all of this shit cracking. The only reason why women's sports exists is because of Title IX. That was black people in the civil rights movement. Title IX was supposed to be for us. But what happened was, when we got civil rights, they made Title IX for sports. So instead of educating black people, they said, no, some of this money got to go towards women's sports and these other little small sports like archery and them little bullshit ass sports. But Title IX the money was raised off football. Back then, college basketball wasn't as big, but college football was everything back then. And then in the 70s, college basketball started to become bigger and bigger. And now, so you have two sports. Think about this, folks. If this is how you check it, this is how you know without a shadow of a doubt, 100%, we're the genesis of it, and we're the oil in the machine. Matter of fact, we are the machine, is because they have all those other sports. Literally every other sport that a college has does not have black people. We're not on the swim team. We're not on the diving team. We're not on the equestrian team, the archery team, the baseball team, no more. We ain't on none of that. And guess what happens? They don't watch any of it. We confined to two sports, basketball and football. And that's where all the attention goes. That's where everybody's economy is based off of. Doug Gottlieb has nothing to talk about. If black people aren't playing, if it's just a bunch of Doug Gottliebs walking around NCAA, there is no 24-hour sports channel that's going to give a fuck enough about it for him to make any kind of money. ESPN would care, if it was a bunch of Doug Gottliebs on the court, ESPN would care just as much about college basketball as they do college fishing. They don't give a fuck. You all right, Rocky? They don't give a fuck. So these people are very, very, very selfish and sick. We literally provide an economy for these people. And now Michael Wilbon just said the dude is divisive. And look at them. Look at their responses. Clay Travis. These people have all kind of sports podcasts, and all they talk about on their sports podcasts is basketball and football. They're not talking. Colleges got equestrian too. Y'all can talk about that. This is a college equestrian. It's college tennis. It's college table tennis. It's college baseball. It's college golf. Y'all got all the sports in the motherfucking world to watch without us around. But they pay attention to us. Look at Doug Gottlieb. Bruce Pearl should be in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Look at all of these white folks that are mad. And they mad on the same day that the dude, that Ryan Routh, the dude that tried to shoot Donald Trump, just got convicted today and tried to stab himself in the neck in court. Bruce Pearl's talking about they coming for us, they're trying to kill us. Meanwhile, everybody you see trying to shoot and kill somebody is white. Look at this dude. This dude that tried to shoot Donald Trump on the golf course. He looked like he tried to shoot somebody. This motherfucker looked like every criminal punching John Chase in Chips. Y'all see this dude? I know he ain't shit. Look at him. I know he ain't shit. This nigga look like he tried to steal Kit on an episode of Knight Rider. This is somebody who goddamn B.A. Baracus beat up in the episode of the A-Team. Look at this dude. He ain't shit. But they're focused on Michael Wilbon. These people are coming out of the woodworks, y'all. You good, Rocky? Rocky wants some attention. I can tell when he wants some attention. Rocky wants some attention. You good, baby boy? You good? Rocky just woke up from his third nap of the day. Fourth or fifth nap of the day. But anyway, so you see what's going on. You see these people cannot take any accountability in their community. They can't take no accountability in their community. You know what I like about Rocky? Rocky don't lick. I hate dogs that lick. I ain't never gonna let no dog lick my face. Dogs lick they nuts. And Rocky, no. You can get close, homie, but you can't lick. Ain't that right, Rocky? You can get close. Ain't none of that licking bullshit going on, right? And he be sneezing though. Nigga sneezing on me. Get out. So we gonna go walking soon, Rocky. So you see this. Black people, the whole point of today's episode is to say this. There's nothing you can do with these people. Nothing. I don't believe in being racist towards nobody. I don't believe in taking from nobody. But Michael Wilbon is somebody who I've never seen Wilbon coon. But Michael Wilbon has always been somebody who just knows how to be quiet. Unlike Stephen A. Smith is a flat out coon. Wilbon's not a coon. Wilbon just knows how to shut up and just avoid all the bullshit, you know? And he does a great job at it. And all he said was, this dude's divisive to the black coaches, the black kids that he coaches, and look at how they going at them. So what's the solution? I'm a solution person. Black people gotta mind their own business. And I mean, when I say mind their own business, outside of business, man, stay out these people's face. Don't be asking for approval. Like let's go to Dame Dash. Dame Dash was talking about he wanted to apologize to 50 and Cam, and he said we need to show that black men can work together. Dame Dash always talks about, and I'm using him as an example because a lot of niggas think this way. Man, what white people think. Man, I want to see white folks. I want white folks to see us, 3 black men, work together. I want us to do what they say black men can't do. Black men work together all the fucking time. Yes, we do. Yes, the hell we do. Yes, we do. A black man got one of my biggest contracts ever for my company, teaching anti-black racism. Hooked me up with that contract. Black man hooked me up with working with these kids that got NFL potential on their financial literacy side. I now am working with some of these kids that are on their way to the NFL because a black man, through a black man's company. A black man that has his own bank. We work together. Yes, we do. But every black man ain't going to be able to work together. All this, let's do it for white folks, man. Fuck them. Do it for yourself. I'm not about to put myself under any kind of pressure to I gotta work with this black man I don't fuck with because of what white folks may think. Man, fuck what they think. It's a lot of niggas I can't work with. It's somebody. That's how it's gonna always be. It's gonna be some people you can fuck with, and a whole lot you can't. That's with any race. That's an issue white people gotta deal with. That's the issue we got to deal with, Indians, Chinese. Most people you're not going to be able to work with. Most people. 8 out of 10. I mean, when it comes to that level of business. At work, I ain't talking about work at your job, but work on like something like a film or... And sometimes it's people that you can't work with that you like. It's some people, I have certain people, certain friends of mine that I'm hella cool with. I'm cool with them. We very cool. But I can't work with them. I don't like the way they work. I have my own style of work ethic. I like moving in a certain direction. I like moving in a certain way, you know? And other people like moving in their way. All of this shit, this pressure black folks put ourselves under and through, this is where we got to fix ourselves because we can't fix them, but we can fix ourselves. All of this putting ourselves under the pressure of white folks is watching, so I'm watching white people. I'm watching them fight like a motherfucker. I'm watching white folks use Charlie Kirk's death as a fundraising event, a fundraising / WWF wrestling event. I'm watching these people go at it like a motherfucker. I'm watching Sean Hannity and Nick Fuentes go at it. I'm watching all this shit. I'm watching them too. So who gives a fuck? Yeah, thank you, Lady Hotel. And that takes us to this story, talking about watching. That's a perfect segue. I'm glad I looked at the chat just in time. Just in time to see that comment. Because this is a perfect time to segue to Elon Musk, the old dirty bitch ass. Where is that? Here it is. Hold on. Elon Musk's musty-ass father is accused of child sexual abuse. He's been accused of sexually abusing 5 of his children and stepchildren since 1993. Which leads me to ask, did he diddle your ass, Elon Musk? I don't know. But Elon Musk, somebody who uses his bully pulpit platform, Twitter, to bring up black people almost every day. Elon Musk is bringing us up crime stats and all this shit. The fatherless, the single parent homes. Even though he's fathered plenty of single parent homes, his father, who's an oligarch, who does not have any issues dealing with poverty, is accused of being a weirdo of the worst kind. The kind of weirdo that touches children's. They're saying that he's estranged from his father. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And if he is estranged, it's probably because his daddy did something to him. I don't know. I wasn't there. Yeah, this is a lineage of evil. You're right. A lineage of evil. A lineage of evil. These are the people that Dame Dash is worried about looking at us. White people looking at us. Yeah, they are? You mean this kind? You mean Doug Gottlieb? A credit card scammer, allegedly? You mean Bruce Pearl? Person who's gotten caught with multiple violations cheating? Huh? I don't get it. I don't get it. What's up, Tory Rain? Talking about some, we got white folks watching. Man, fuck them. Fuck anybody watching. Fuck my neighbor if he watching me right now. I don't give a fuck. You can't live your life worried about people watching. You got to do what's right, no matter who's watching. You got to do it. You can't stand for evil. You can't stand with evil. And if your spirit and your heart says I got to say something, then you got to follow your spirit and your heart. You're going to be okay. If your spirit and your heart is telling you to speak up, even if something does happen to your place of employment or whatever, there's something that's going to be there for you. You cannot be enslaved by what people think and say, or what you think people are going to say. Fuck them. So Fetty Wells TV, Leno L, Danny, and Jacoby, appreciate y'all for listening. And everybody else in the chat room. I need y'all to go to patreon.com/DeJuanB. Yesterday's show, we did a very, very explosive show yesterday, and we had some music to go along with it. So you got to either be a member on this YouTube channel or over on Patreon to see it. I did way too much music. I got a half-off special for the first month on my Patreon. If you register for Patreon right now, 50% off your first month with the product code MUSIC. That's good for all tiers. But I will be starting my History of R&B series course, a 10-part course, college level course, without all the tests on Patreon. That's on the Music University level. So if you're on Patreon already, to upgrade to the Music History University. No more buying classes, $150, $200, $300. Just $40 a month. You're about to get this 10-part lecture for your ass on the history of R&B. After that, we're going to do one on jazz. And we're going to keep them coming. All right? I got to go take Rocky to take a shit. But I wanted to make sure that we had this talk today to point out this is what's going on. What we see going on with Michael Wilbon is an issue. It's an issue. It shows that no matter what we do, no matter what we say, it's never enough. There is no pleasing these people. Go to work with them. Be respectful. You know what I mean? Don't start no shit. You know, do like we always do. Black folks mind their own business. I work with anybody, but outside of our work transaction, you can't be expecting nothing from these people. Work with them. Be polite at work. Get your job done. Make sure that you're impeccable with your word. Make sure that you're on time, and make sure whatever assignment you're given by anybody, you do it to the highest level of excellence. That's who we are. I know that's who I am. Be on time, be a man or woman of your word, and be impeccable with your word. Cross all your T's, dot your I's. Do the best you can do. Like Dr. King said, if you're a janitor, be the best motherfucking janitor out there. But where we mess up as people is when we want to extend the relationship beyond the work. And we be thinking, Missy, she's nice. She's really cool. First off, if you see a white woman named Missy, she say nigga to make her teeth white. I ain't never met a non-racist white woman named Missy. No, I'm just playing. But if, where we mess up is we like to extend the relationships beyond work. You'll see a black person, they'll smoke weed with the white boy Tim. Man, Tim cool the motherfucker, man. That's the coolest white boy I've never been around, man. Man, them niggas over here, man, they be hating on me. I came in with these Jordan 3s and they was talking about their stuff. Man, Tim was like, nah, man, fuck them, man. I almost let Tim say nigga, And then you look up 6 months later, yo, what's up? How's the job going? Yeah, man, they fired me. They fired you? I thought y'all was good. Yeah, man, remember I told you when I was smoking with the homeboy Tim, the white boy I was telling you about? Yeah. Yeah, man, he reported me to the supervisor one day. Yeah, you dumb nigga. The way they're treating Wilbon is just wrong. Wilbon has a lot of respect. He's never been disrespectful. He didn't say anything disrespectful. But to see them coming around and rallying around over that little thing Michael Wilbon said, this is just a peer in the window of how it is across the board. That's how they get down. So just be you can be, and don't be a Dame Dash type. See, and I like Dame Dash. Y'all know I like Dame Dash on this channel. Y'all see he had that white girl rapper that he said could outdo 50 or... Stop it, Dame. Stop it. How many white artists are going to screw you over before you... Anyway. Dame don't get it. Black people. It's not about white people what they think. It's not about what they think. Listen, pay attention to Bruce Pearl, the man who had all of these violations. All you got to do is go into your AI and type in alleged Bruce Pearl scandals, accusations, and convictions. And you'll get a whole motherfucking rap sheet. Because he's a thug punk. You dig? They even got a whole goddamn section on the NCAA investigation on Wikipedia. So yeah, you're dealing with a criminal. Don't worry about what these people think. Follow what I'm saying right there. And this is for you young folks out there, you people in your 20s and teens that's listening to me. Don't intersect your work life and your personal life. All right? I'm about to sign up, but something just came to me to say this to the young folks out there. Your life is your life. Your work, what you do outside of work is what you do outside of work. Don't bring your outside work into your work life. These people, they smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. You niggas was too young to grow up listening to the backstabbers by the OJs. You got to understand that.
What they do, they smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place, the backstabbers.
Think about that when you at work. And it's not just other races. It's your own race too. Your biggest hater's probably going to be black. And that's just what it is. You know me, I don't talk as if we perfect. I give the warning signs, but we ain't perfect. Your biggest hater's going to be some old dusty ass nigga that's mad at your shine. You smile too much. You got a car that they want. You got a girlfriend and they don't. You like your parents and they don't. It's gonna be some goofy ass. So don't think just because you're a black person you safe. These niggas ain't shit either. So just go to work, do your job, stay away from them people at work, get your shit done, and be impeccable with what you do. Be on time every day. Don't abuse calling in sick and all that shit. And while at the same time, make sure you take your vacations. And if you are sick, use that sick time to get yourself better, because these jobs don't give a fuck about you. And live your life. But don't think that you're cool just because you're a good basketball player. Don't think that you're cool just because you're a good musician, or you type the fastest at work, or you close the most accounts at work. You're going to be dealing with that bullshit. Coworkers are not your friends. All right? Yeah, chat room dropping Ty Love, Smoke Splitter. The chat room dropping some serious games. So if you're a young person, read what the OGs are saying in the chat right now. Read what the OGs, read what they saying in the chat. Everybody in the chat is saying some real shit. So if you're watching this later on, you a young cat coming up, read what they saying in the chat. It's about us. We got to win out here. It's winning time. But don't be a Dame Dash. White people is watching. Man, fuck you and fuck them too. Do your shit without worried about somebody watching. Because people that don't like you, you're never gonna be good enough anyway. For people who don't like you, you're never gonna be good enough anyway. So stop trying. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. I'll probably see y'all Thursday. If not, I'm not gonna be late. I'm not gonna do a late night tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably see y'all Thursday. All right. Go to DewanB.com. All that good shit. Y'all have a good one. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.